It's a star-studded Tony Awards weekend. I'm Tamsin Fidel, and Broadway's biggest night is back. The 78th annual ceremony is here, and we're celebrating the brightest, best, and biggest stars. Here we go. On this episode of The Broadway Show, we're not only breaking down the biggest races, the who's who and what's what, we're also shining the spotlight on our First Timers Club. It's our tradition of showcasing the great actors and rising stars who are nominated for the very first time. Let's get started with taking a look at a few of the nominees. Let's kick it off with the big one, the category for Best New Musical. Buena Vista Social Club.
Your mama's dead. Your daddy's dead.
Dead Outlaw. Death Becomes Her.
Pick up my suitcase, it's got a decade of heft.
Go make it count now, enjoy the time you have left.
Maybe Happy Ending. Operation Mincemeat. Up for Best New Play, English. The Hills of California. John Proctor is a villain. Oh, Mary. Purpose. Here's the Best Musical Revival category. Floyd Collins. Gypsy. Pirates, the Penzance Musical. Sunset Boulevard. And in Best Play Revival, Eureka Day. Our Town. Romeo and Juliet. Yellowface. For a complete list of nominees, head over to Broadway.com. Okay, let's talk first-timers. Paul Wontorek and I sat down with 6 of this year's nominees who are up for a Tony for the very first time. The revival of Sunset Boulevard is unlike anything you've ever seen, and now it's nominated for 7 Tonys, including Best Musical Revival and Best Actress in a Musical for Nicole Scherzinger. You have dreamed about, really, your entire life. You've always loved Broadway, and I don't think I knew that.
A lot of people didn't realize that I grew up loving theater and musical theater. I went to a youth performing arts high school where actually some of my best friends from that high school are in New York now. I have that community that is my family still with me here. But yeah, I grew up loving musical theater. That was the dream. I was like, part of me loved Whitney Houston and Paula Abdul, and the other part of me loved Miss Saigon and Les Mis.
But that's amazing. What a full circle moment to be back here, knowing people that are surrounding you in the community like that.
It is a full circle moment. I mean, for me, you know, having toured the world and been a pop star, my biggest dream was always to do Broadway. But I think not only the fact that I've made it to Broadway, but it's this show, this role, this production. And that's what has made it so special. And it's just been overwhelming to be able to connect with other people through my performance, to connect on a soul level, on a spiritual level. That's the ultimate dream for me, to finally be able to share all of my gifts, all of my abilities with the world, with Broadway, with these audiences. I'm just so grateful.
Maybe Happy Ending is tied for the most Tony nominations this year with 10 nods, including Best New Musical. Plus, Darren Criss earned his first nomination for Best Actor in a Musical.
2 nominations.
Yeah, that's right. I suppose that's right. I guess I am.
You're a nominated actor
yes.
and a nominated producer.
Whoa.
As someone who has really dedicated time and energy and mental space and love to this community. What does this all mean to you right now?
Listen, my love for this, it's unconditional. You know, it's not so we can be recognized in these certain ways. And of course, nobody will believe you when you say that. They're like, yeah, right. But it's true. Like the W is just getting to be here. It's just my favorite thing. So getting to just be around it and talk about it at this level is like one of the great joys of my life.
Yeah.
The Tonys happen to be an extension of that. The Tonys become this magnifying glass to just a slightly larger stage, at least for a national and now international dialogue because of social media. And to have this community or any of the things that are going on in this community get that kind of spotlight, that's what's really exciting.
Justina Machado is making it work, picking up her first Tony nomination this year for Best Featured Actress in a Musical in Real Women Have Curves. Did you see yourself, here in this role at this time in life? You and I were talking a little bit earlier about, we were both told when we were younger, like, let it all unfold. But we don't know how to do that at 20.
Exactly. I don't even know how to do that at 50.
I don't either, if I'm being honest.
I'm learning. I mean, of course, there are days when I wish it was 10 years ago or 15 years ago, just for the stamina.
I get it. But you wouldn't have the wisdom.
I wouldn't have the wisdom.
You wouldn't have the wisdom. And there's something to that.
I wouldn't have the groundedness, like I feel very grounded. I mean, because there's a lot that happens, this. So, but I feel grounded. I think that probably I wouldn't be, I'd be more chaotic.
Yeah.
But it feels incredible because it just shows you that dreams don't have an expiration date. And it's true, we hear it all the time, but this is the truth.
Was this always your dream to be in this place during this time?
It was always my dream to originate a role in a musical and to be nominated for a Tony.
I mean, yes.
I can say that now, you know what I mean?
Say that. Stranger Things star Sadie Sink is nominated for a Tony for the very first time. In the new play, John Proctor is the villain.
You have a very cool vibe because of all the roles you've played. You know what I mean? Like you have a very cool energy about you. But inside, are you still like when you think about like going to the Tonys and being around these actors, are you still like fangirling and like what is going on inside your head?
I'm a really annoying theater nerd.
Okay.
Like it's just, that's just what it is. But it's so exciting because I don't know, I get to be around the people I've watched my whole life. And obviously, you get that in film and TV too, but this is something even more special, I feel. Like meeting Megan Hilty the other day was amazing because Mitchell and I, my brother, we would just watch. She was my favorite Glinda, and we would watch her bootleg all the time on YouTube. So now it's just incredible, seeing her at these things, and yeah.
Cola Scola's insane comedy smash Oh Mary might just be Broadway's most unlikely hit. 5 Tony nominations in all, including a Best Featured Actor nod for Conrad Ricamora. You have done such a variety. What is this like, a comedic role like this?
Oh, it feels like I'm getting to explore parts of myself and my craft that I've never been able to explore before. Laughter is such a funny thing because it's an involuntary response that an audience has. So, it's different from doing, like I did Here Lies Love, which, is a big party and then was a tragedy by the end of the show. And to now be, feeling the feedback every, in Oh Mary, it's very often that the audience is just dying with laughter. And so to be feeling that feedback constantly is a really cool thing to feel, and then also negotiate performance-wise, being like, okay, it peaks and then I come in with my next line so that there's allowing time for laughter and then allowing time to keep moving. Well, it's taught me a lot, that there is no one way to laugh. There's just an infinite ways of laughing, and we get to hear it every night in the audience. It's so cool.
Broadway's never seen anything quite like Dead Outlaw. It's nominated for 7 Tonys. It's Jeb Brown's first Tony nomination.
You've done so many shows. I mean, you've done shows on Broadway, off Broadway. I've seen you fantastic on TV. How do you describe your career to people?
You know, I do always have to say that it's theater based. It's always, even I spent my 20s in LA kind of checking out that turf.
Yeah.
And after 8 years, I realized I kept checking my watch and wondering when I was going to get home. So at around age 30, I came home and dug into theater. And that doesn't mean just New York theater. It means all these great theaters across the country that draw their hires from New York a lot of times.
That's why I think of you as like a real part of this industry and this community. And a lot of times guys like you don't find a moment like you're having right now, right? I mean, to actually find a role that fits like a glove and a show everybody loves, and then you get the Tony nomination. So when you have one of these moments, like, where's your head at about that?
No, you're right on with all of that. For me, this experience is like a slideshow. It's sort of a this is your life. It becomes about thinking about long ago opportunities. You know, it's been 5 decades. Long ago mentors and teachers, and you all suddenly it just shines a light on all of that for you. So not only do you get to talk about it with other people, but it's just the very morning that I saw that I was nominated. Those are the first kinds of things that came to my mind. With just a history of what it has led to this.
Right.
It's a lot of stuff, a lot of work, a lot of fun.
Some serious Hollywood heavyweights are nominated for Tonys this year. George Clooney earned his first ever Tony nomination for the play Good Night and Good Luck, based on his hit movie.
I'm very nervous about this. It's late in life to be doing your Broadway debut. You know, I started out doing theater, and it's been 40 years since I've done a play. So it's nerve-wracking, man. But that's okay. You know, listen, it's fun to be 63 and go, I don't know. It's not a bad thing to be, and it's humbling, you know?
The revival of Glengarry Glen Ross is the starriest show on Broadway right now, and Bob Odenkirk is nominated for his work in the play.
When I was on Second City, I had a sense when I was on stage getting laughs, but I was opposite Chris Farley and some wonderful comic actors. And I had a sense like, if I could be in a drama, I could be the funniest person in the drama, and I could still land the drama part. And I'm able now, because of the wonderful opportunities I've had to test that. I think I have, as opposed to a lot of my comedy cohorts, a kind of an earnestness about me that lends itself to drama, to landing that drama and anchoring it. And so now I'm being given these opportunities to make something out of that.
Emmy winner Sarah Snook is nominated for a Tony Award for Best Actress in a Play. In fact, she's playing all 26 roles in The Picture of Dorian Gray.
Broadway audiences are fabulous. They are ready to party. They want to come and laugh. They want to come and cry. I think, I really enjoy a Broadway audience. Yeah, last night's was fantastic.
And some of this year's Tony-nominated shows have come and gone. Mia Farrow starring in The Roommate.
Literally never crossed my mind. You know, and very early on, Patty, she thought of Tony Awards and she said, forget the Tony Awards. And I'm like, that never even crossed my mind. And she said, well, we can just forget it because we were gonna close December 15. And she said, and the Tonys, and I'm like, She said, they're in June. I'm like, oh, so she said, yeah, this little play will be long forgotten. I'm like, okay, let's just get through tonight. So, you know, I never thought about it. I just thought I would, can I tell anyone? I wanted to tell someone, and it turned out, I'm gonna make me cry. I wanted to tell my mom, because of all the people in my life, she would have been the happiest. She would have been the proudest. It would have meant so much to her. It's not like I could call any of my kids or somebody and say, guess what? Because I mean, nobody cares that I would get a Tony nomination, but my mom would have cared so much. And then I started really missing my mom. It was one of those moments that learning that I had a Tony nomination made me miss my mom.
A whole lot more coming up next on The Broadway Show. We'll be right back. Welcome back to The Broadway Show. I'm Tamsin Fidel. Let's get back to it. Death Becomes Her has 10 Tony nominations this year, including Best New Musical, not to mention acting nominations for both leading ladies.
Oh, it's humongous, yeah. We were saying once too, like the canon of two women on Broadway, it's not that large, and so it is quite an honor. And you know, if the female producers, that sounds good to me. Like I'm just really excited, and how I always wanted this, right? And little girl, you know how many people would love to be in our shoes. So we treating it with great respect and hope we live up to it.
I'm looking forward to the day where I'm taking the subway and there's really terrible things drawn on my face.
You will have arrived.
That's when I'll know that I've made it. I can't wait.
Broadway rookie Jasmine Amy Rogers is a Tony nominee. She plays Betty Boop in Boop the Musical.
There are moments where even when I'm doing the show, I'm like, I'm a Tony nominee. I'm a Tony nominee. I'm really proud that we were able to bring Betty to life in a way that those who have loved her forever can appreciate. And it's amazing because it could be just something that is so throwaway in 2D, but there's heart and there's depth to what we're doing as well. And we send people home with a smile on their face, and that's all we set out to do.
Gypsy is nominated for 5 awards at this year's Tonys, including Best Musical Revival, Best Leading Actress in a Musical for Audra McDonald, making her the most nominated star in Tony's history.
Taking on this iconic role and being able to be the first Black woman to play the role on Broadway, and therefore introducing this show to kind of a new generation and a specific type of generation that might not necessarily come to Gypsy. And so that has been very special about this particular nomination. And I think also just, for me, it's a reminder that this is the only thing I've ever wanted to do. There's a part of me that's talking to little Audra right now saying, see, you wanted to be, you were a weird, quirky, over-dramatic child who wanted to be in theater, and that's what you did, and you're still doing it.
Jeremy Jordan is trapped on stage in the Broadway premiere of Floyd Collins at Lincoln Center. So let's head out to the theater for a backstage tour.
Hi, I'm BB Newworth. I play Pepper in Mamma Mia, and you're watching The Broadway Show. Let's take that again. I'm Taylor Trench. I play Skeets Miller in Lincoln Center Theater's revival of Floyd Collins, and you're watching The Broadway Show. Before we start the official tour, I thought we'd see if the Tony-nominated star of Floyd Collins, Jeremy Jordan, is here. He's not, but maybe we'll peek into his dressing room really quickly. Come on in. Jeremy Jordan. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, wow. Are you getting this? Wow, okay. This is a lot to take in. I didn't know he felt this way. This is a lot to process on camera. Wow. Wow, actually, let's get out of here.
The backstage scene at Floyd Collins is a ton of fun. Be sure to check out Taylor's full behind-the-scenes tour at Broadway.com.
What's it been like doing 8 shows a week?
It's honestly fun. It's better than touring.
Hell yeah. Say that. I don't know what that experience is at all. No one wants to listen to me.
Every 2 days.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Please come see Lisa McAlpine and Floyd Collins sing Through the Mountain. You'll be forever changed. I've really embarrassed myself in front of her a lot of times.
Yeah.
A new musical comedy spy thriller is making mincemeat out of Broadway. Operation Mincemeat nominated for 4 Tony Awards. Here's Beth Stevens with another edition of Building Broadway.
How do 4 brains write one musical?
Horribly.
Horribly.
Through legal teams.
Torturously. Yeah. We get together and we look at a section of the story, and anything that jumps out that one of us goes, I think this could be a really great song. And so we all sit down and think, okay, if it were to be a song, what is the energy, or what is the kind of the kernel of the idea that we can all, as 4 minds, agree we want to see?
Is there a line?
Is there a line?
Boil this down to a single line.
Yeah, and then once we've got that, whoever feels they maybe have the most, can see it the best, or who simply has the most time that week, will take it.
Or loses a bet.
We'll take it for that week and have a first pass at it and brings it back, and then it gets mercilessly torn apart by the other 3.
What's really great is that we respect each other's opinions to the point where we're like, even if I'm determined that this is a brilliant idea, if one of these guys is putting their hand up and going, guys, it's not, something about it isn't quite right yet, even if they don't know what that thing is, you're like, we've got to sit back down at the table and figure that out. Yeah, because even one drop of poison in that glass and the whole thing's gone, so we have to go back to the drawing board.
Here's an exclusive musical performance from the Broadway.com studio.
Dear Bill, I'm afraid I've not got long to write.
I'm off to Mary's, you know how she feels about bridge night. It's been a few days. I thought that I'd send a few lines. Next door's greyhound came into the garden this morning. I think he likes the roses. They're doing fine. I used some twine to tie them up and rein them in. I hope they'll bloom next spring, but you'll see that for yourself.
Thanks so much for sticking around. I'm Tamsin Fidel. Tony winner Jonathan Groff looking to score back-to-back wins at this year's ceremony. He's nominated for Best Actor in a Musical, playing Bobby Darin in Just in Time.
I think this is the most fun I've ever had in my whole life. It's like the show begins and it feels like it's 5 minutes and it's over. I know that I'm exhausted because I slept for like 12 hours the other night. So I know it's like I'm doing a lot, but I love it so much. The show is about like doing what you can while you have the time. There's like not even a part of me that's like, okay, I'm doing another. I feel like even more energized. It becomes an infinite well of energy and inspiration, and I'm so grateful.
Actor Daniel Dae Kim is making Broadway history. He's the first Asian nominee for Best Lead Actor in a Play for his work in Yellowface.
I think this character is at times zany, but is also very grounded, and through the story we see a lot of different sides. It's nice to explore a full character this way, not just like comedic, not just serious. I think we see the full spectrum of what it means to be human.
Broadway's been turned upside down. A Stranger Things prequel now on Broadway. It takes place 24 years before the start of the smash Netflix hit.
It's a powerful storyline. It's a very Greek tragedy play with a tragic hero and the mother archetype and the antagonist, protagonist, love interest. We have these things that will keep you second guessing your own thoughts. And that combined with the tech, you will, in Stranger Things on the TV show, right? So they go Demogorgons and the Mind Flayer, and it's CGI and it's green screen, and that's how production runs. Here, it's right in your face, and we want to kill you, It's like, if you could get on that stage, you would get swiped by a Demogorgon.
Buena Vista Social Club is tied with Maybe Happy Ending and Death Becomes Her as this year's most Tony-nominated show, 10 nominations in all. Plus, the band of Buena Vista Social Club is being honored with a special Tony Award this year. Here's Perry Sook.
All right, we are here on the set of Buena Vista Social Club with the fabulous music director and piano Marco and our guitarist, David. Guys, before we jump into the wonderful love this show is getting, I just got to say, I love it. How much fun is it up there playing all together?
It's a lot of fun. Every night is different. We have the responsibility to keep the authenticity of this type of music. We follow one format, but in the format is the open for the improvisation. Every night is totally different to put the extra flavor of Broadway. It's so difficult to establish and find out that balance. I think we got it.
You can really tell, and you feel that because you guys are so much a part of the show.
Yeah.
I kept looking at the monitor. It's not somebody sitting in a box with a string. You're right there as a part of the action, and thusly so being recognized. Obviously, along with 10 nominations for this show, the special Tony Award for the musicianship in the band. Just what does an honor as it bring? Kind of art imitating life. The show's about honoring this amazing Cuban music, and here we are honoring of that music.
Yeah, I mean, clearly the reach of Cuban music is clear there, and I just am so honored to be part of this band and part of the show that really elevates and values musicians and music and puts us front and center and allows us to do our thing, and you can feel that a difference.
We feel so honored. They create this special Tony Award for us. At the same time, it's a big responsibility because we carry on our shoulders the legacy that we receive from our ancestors to keep this and to put in the biggest stage for the musical theater in the world. We opened a new door for great musicians that is all around, and now is the time.
The Jimmy Awards is a huge and amazing event that happens in New York City every year, featuring the absolute best of the best musical theater talents from high schools all across America.
Get your head up high and scream out to the world. I know I am someone, so let the truth unfurl.
Now, on the lead up to the Jimmys, the Broadway show shines a spotlight on the students and the cities and the impact these competitions and awards have on those amazing teens. Still on the road to the Jimmys, and this week we're in Nashville. It might be famous for country music, but the theater scene is hitting all the right notes, especially with its next generation of performers. Every year, the Spotlight Awards light up the stage at the Tennessee Performing Arts Center for one unforgettable night. But the program's impact is felt by these students all year round.
I did Disney musicals in school. I came here and I did the Aristocats at my kindergarten class. And I said that I will come back here and I'll perform and I'll be better than I was the last time.
My favorite thing about Spotlight has been the absolutely incredible amount of opportunities it has provided me with. To be a part of something that has so many talented people is just so rewarding.
I'm glad to finish it off for my last performance in high school year.
Let's talk about another big award, our annual Broadway.com Audience Choice Awards, the only major theatrical award selected by you, the fans. Every year, we give theater fans a chance to choose their favorite shows and stars of the season. The entire process is guided by the fans' votes, including picking the nominees. We caught up with the winners at the Audience Choice Awards party.
Just to know that the audience is connecting with you just is like affirmation and confirmation. I am back where I'm born to be.
I'm a wet man. I'm just generally extremely very wet when I do this, and I'm sorry in advance. That's my favorite funny line, probably, that I get to say of the show.
This one was really special because it was from the people that, I was once, and I still am. I am a fan, I am in the audience, and I love that this exists and people get to celebrate the performances that they love and the shows they love. It's so, so cool.
See a full list of those winners over at Broadway.com. And that's going to do it for us, but for tickets or if you want to see extended cuts of all these interviews, head over to Broadway.com and be sure to check out The Broadway Show Uncut wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Tamsin Fidel and this is The Broadway Show.